The dollar is a scam, and if you're saving in it, you are getting scammed. You're going to have to work for money for the rest of your life. If you don't need it for an emergency fund, a car, a house, or some other medium-term expense, invest it. It's not enough to have your money saved in a bank, even if it's earning interest. It's no secret that times are tough right now, and after all expenses, anything that people have left over, oftentimes they save it instead of investing it, which is a bad idea. Why? Because you want your money working for you, and if you save your money and do nothing else with it, you're going to have to work for money for the rest of your life. Again, take the money that you don't need right now and invest it. You could invest it in the stock market. You could buy gold. You could buy silver, you could buy a house, you could buy Bitcoin, anything but the dollar, because the dollar can be created out of thin air, out of nothing, and is easier to produce than all of those other things. Of course, a house is a lot harder to produce than the US dollar, and with Bitcoin right now, I believe only 450 per day are created. How many dollars do you think are created each day? I spoke about this in my last video, but the United States hit $1 trillion in debt for the first time in 1981, and today we are approximately $37 trillion in debt.
Bruh.
And as you can see here, most of that money is going towards Medicare and Medicaid, Social Security, defense, and interest on the debt itself. Of course, the government can't pay this debt back, so what they will do is print money, new money, to pay off the old debt. But this will increase the supply of money, which will drive up inflation and the cost of everything. Prices of everything will go up, and that includes assets. I think the median price of a home in the United States is going to $1 million, then to $1.5 million, and then to $2 million. We've seen the S&P 500 go up around 87 to 88% in the past 5 years, and this trend is likely to continue as well. And gold has been on an absolute tear, increasing about 39% from a year ago. But the most important thing to remember is the reason these things have increased in value so much is because of all the money that has been printed since the coronavirus pandemic. In fact, around 50% of all the US dollars in circulation have been printed within the last 5 years. That is an alarming increase in a very short period of time, relatively speaking, and we are now past the point of no return. The United States debt is going to 40 trillion, then to 50 trillion, then to 100 trillion, and then to $1 quadrillion. What will the price of a home be in US dollars when the United States is $100 trillion in debt? Maybe 2 million, maybe 3 million? If these numbers sound crazy, it's because they are. I mean, look at this. $1 invested in the stock market in 1900 is worth over $107,000 today.
What?
The dollar is a scam, and if you're saving in it, you are getting scammed. The United States dollar used to be backed by gold, meaning that the dollar was as good as gold and you could redeem your dollars for gold whenever you wanted. But in 1971, the President of the United States, Richard Nixon, took us off the gold standard temporarily, although of course we are still not on the gold standard and we haven't been for over 50 years. And it's never coming back because it's way too late. That's not happening anymore. You can forget about that. This has caused massive ripple effects through the country and the world. And if you go on the website, WTF happened in 1971, there's a lot of really great charts and visuals representing this. I'll link it below, and I'm gonna go over one of the graphs now. This is the unit price per can of Campbell's condensed tomato soup at discounted sale pricing from 1898 to 2021. And you can see here that from 1898 to about 1971, the price was more or less 10 cents for 80 years. And since then, we've seen the price spike up to over $1. And this is because the dollar used to be as good as gold, so it was relatively stable. And after that, we've just completely gone off the rails and it's 10 times more expensive. And I wasn't planning on throwing this one in here, but here's a chart of the US national debt from 1900 to 2020. You could see the arrow marking the year 1971, and this last year of 2020 was about $23 trillion in debt. The hilarious thing here is that we're around $37 trillion in debt, so this graph is extremely outdated. You could add another $14 trillion to this. It wouldn't even fit on the chart. Everything that's happening right now, particularly since the last 5 years, has not been normal, and things have completely derailed. The people you think that are in charge of everything have completely lost control. The debt is going to infinity and beyond. Remember that example where $1 invested in the stock market in 1900 is now worth over $107,000 today? That was because that money was invested. If you took $1 in 1900 and stuck it under your mattress, it would be worth less than 1 penny today. So don't play the money saving game. I'm pounding the table on this because I think people need to have a real conversation and be honest with what's happening right now, and a lot of people just pretend like this isn't happening. And this is very real, with very real consequences, and this will affect everybody. But there you have it. If you guys like the content, consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.